Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Adamoose, and today in this series called In Depth, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about Volibear Jungle.
I feast on your heart.
Volibear is a powerful playmaking jungler with massive snowball potential in the right hands. He's a monster duelist and has tons of build diversity based on your team's needs. If you enjoy the content, it really helps me out if you could leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to help your boy out with the YouTube algorithm. If you want to talk with me and other members in the community, be sure to join the Discord link that's in the description. I hope you guys can learn something. Enjoy the video. Volibear's passive is called the Relentless Storm. Volley gains bonus attack speed for every attack or ability used. At 5 stacks, Volley gains Lightning Claws, empowering his autos with Chain Lightning that deal AoE magic damage to the target and nearby enemies. The AoE damage and attack speed this provides is perfect to speed up your jungle clear and can also be a game changer in early skirmishes. Volibear's Q is called Thundering Smash. Volley charges towards an enemy, gaining bonus movement speed and stunning the target. The bonus move speed is doubled when going towards enemies, so it's very important to have your Q cooldown ready when looking to gank or make a play. Your Q is also an auto attack reset, which you usually want to be using while clearing to increase your clear speed. Volibear's W is called Frenzied Maul. Volibear mauls the enemy, dealing physical damage and marking them. If this ability is used on a marked target, it then heals you based on your missing health. This is both his main DPS and sustain tool. Your W can be used as yet another auto attack reset, so making use of both his auto resets will greatly increase your clear speed and DPS in fights. Volibear's E is called Sky Splitter. Volibear summons a lightning bolt at the target location, dealing damage and slowing enemies after a short delay. If he's standing inside the blast radius, he also gains a shield. This ability is extremely powerful if landed, since you deal damage, slow, and gain a shield. The main downside is that it's easily dodgeable. Using your E before stunning a target with your Q is a great way to ensure that this lands. Another strong combo is EQ Flash, which is a way to almost guarantee that your E lands if placed correctly. You can also use your E to get vision in a bush instead of face checking, which is a nice tip to aid with vision control. Volibear's ultimate is called Stormbringer. Volibear leaps to the target location, slowing and damaging enemies beneath him, gaining health and attack range. Enemy towers in his landing location will also be disabled for a couple seconds, allowing you to easily tower dive after level 6. This ability is extremely powerful, but does have a very long cooldown, so it's crucial that you get good value when you use it. When Volibear is leaping, he's also immune to CC. This can be used to outplay important crowd control abilities if timed correctly. Learning how to use Stormbringer at the right times is going to be crucial when looking to climb on Volley. For ability maxing, Volley usually maxes Q first, W second, and E third. In cases where you want more DPS and dueling power, W max can also be very strong. Next up, let's discuss Volley's best rune setups for Season 12. To start off, Press the Attack is by far the most common and consistent keystone choice in the current meta. This is simply the best rune for dueling power, making Volley an absolute menace in skirmishes, especially due to his multiple auto attack resets. To close out the precision tree, Triumph, Legend Alacrity for DPS, Legend Tenacity into heavy CC, Coup de Grace into squishies, and Last Stand into tankier teams. For secondary, Inspiration and Sorcery are going to be your most optimal choices. For Inspiration, Hex Flash, Perfect Timing, Futures Market, and Cosmic Insight are going to be your main picks, which all provide Volley with some extra utility. If you're looking for more of a movement speed based setup, Sorcery with either Nimbus Cloak or Celerity, along with Water Walking, is the standard. Both setups are very strong, so definitely test out what works best for your playstyle. Lastly, Predator is another keystone choice which has massive playmaking potential. When running this setup, Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, and Ingenious Hunter are your go-to options. For secondary, both the Precision and Sorcery trees are going to be your best choices. For Rune Shards, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and either Armor or Magic Resist depending on your jungle matchup is the standard. Now that we've covered runes, let's go over Volley's strongest item builds for the current meta. To start, both Blue and Red Smite are viable choices. Blue Smite is great to aid in gap closing versus more mobile teams, while Red Smite is the better option for pure dueling power. For boots, Ionian Boots of Lucidity are the most common choice for overall utility, while Merc Treads are strong into heavy CC, and Plated Steel Caps into heavy AD auto attack based teams. For mythics, Turbo Chem Tank is this current strongest choice due to its massive playmaking power. This not only gives you solid burst, but also makes you a serious engage threat. If you want more of a carry build, Divine Sunder and Triforce can both be strong choices as well, although Sunder is much more consistent and common. For core items, Deadman's Plate for armor and move speed, Force of Nature for MR and move speed, Spirit Visage for MR and tankiness, Thornmail for anti-heal versus heavy AD, and Zhonya's as a very powerful utility item since Volley actually has really good AP scaling. From this point, Volley has tons of item options depending on what you need to counter the enemy team comp. Your main goal is to get tanky enough to frontline for your team, while also being able to pick up utility items to disrupt the enemy backline, or some extra damage to duel enemy carries. Since there are so many options, this will come with time, but learning what items are optimal for each game will greatly increase your effectiveness. Now let's get right into Volley's jungle strategy and pathing. First off, when clearing, it's extremely important to make use of the animation cancels from both your Q and W. When done properly, this will greatly decrease the time it takes you to clear camps. To build on this, it's also important to keep your passive stacks up whenever possible. The attack speed and AoE damage can both make a big difference in your clear speeds. When ganking, the toughest thing to pull off consistently is Volibear's E. If you can start off behind the enemy, it's usually best to hold your E until they use a dash or flash before placing it into their path. If placed correctly, you can force the enemy to either walk back into you to dodge it, or to eat the damage and slow. This, along with your EQ and EQ flash combos, are going to be crucial to master. Next is to always remember that Volibear is an absolute monster early on. Since you do get outscaled by some of the farming junglers, make sure to pressure them hard with your early game power. When you hit level 6, make sure to already have a plan of what you're going to do with your ult. Looking for tower dives can be a great way to completely put one of the enemy laners out of the game and start snowballing from there. In later game fights, remember that you mostly become an engage or a peel bot for your team. You're no longer the carry, and your main job is to make sure your carries are able to output as much damage as possible while you're soaking up damage in the front line. Now for actual jungle pathing, Volley has some solid options that complement his aggressive playstyle. First and most common is the 3-camp gank or invade path, which allows you to hit level 3 and start ganking or invading. This can be achieved by doing a buff Gromp clear, or by doing a red Raptor's Gromp clear to hit level 3. This path is extremely strong due to the fact that Volley can either choose to gank or invade, influencing the map right away with this massive spike and putting the game in your hands. Next up is the 4 or 5 camp clear, which is a similar path but involves clearing 1 or 2 more camps before starting to impact the lanes. This is usually done when there are no opportunities as soon as you hit 3, and you want to farm up a bit more to keep up in gold and XP. The main thing to keep in mind is that Volley does not want to be AFK farming, so if there are any playmaking opportunities, you should be there to take advantage. This is why pathing towards the right lanes will be extremely crucial to your success, so you can be on the right side of the map when the action starts breaking out. Volibear's biggest weakness is that he can get kited against very mobile, long-range team comps. To shore up this weakness, it's very important to track enemies' flash timers and to look out for when enemies burn important cooldowns such as Ezreal's E. Turbo Chem Tank and Predator are both tools to shore up this weakness, but it's also important to keep in mind that Volley does not have the ability to jump walls pre-level 6. This is why Volibear struggles into junglers such as Kindred, Graves, Shaco, and Zac, since he has an extremely hard time dealing with their high mobility. To add on to this, Volibear starts to fall off in the later stages of the game, since enemies with 3 to 4 items can start shredding you. A good Volibear player will understand this and act as more of an engage or peel for your team. I see too many low elo Volibear players burning all their cooldowns trying to dive in and 1v9 a fight, getting instantly deleted. In reality, your goal should be to soak damage and create space for your own carries in those late game team fights. Lastly, since he does not have the fastest farming, he relies on making early plays and snowballing to win games. This takes some time to get used to, as passively farming your jungle will most times mean you're gonna get outscaled. Now let's discuss what makes Volley such a powerful pick in the Season 12 jungle meta. First off, Volibear is one of the strongest early duelists in the entire game. Experienced players will take advantage of this, bullying weak farming junglers, or by spam ganking lanes, forcing fights to put your team in the lead. This is why Volley thrives against passive junglers such as Karthus, Hecarim, Lilia, and Sejuani. They all get destroyed by you in fights, and must play extremely carefully if they want to have a chance at survival. On the topic of dominating the early game, Volley's kit has multiple tools which allows him to close out games very quickly. First is his strong objective control due to his W's DPS and healing. This lets you take Dragons and Herald on cooldown and quickly stack up those win conditions for your team. On top of this, Volley is also amazing at tower diving post 6, which is one of my personal favorite things about his kit. Since your ult turns off towers, you can easily dive unsuspecting enemies and completely take them out of the game. And finally, Volibear's flexible build path allows him to adapt to a ton of different situations if you're familiar with the best item combinations. He can build full tank, bruiser, duelist, and even AP based on what you need for the current game. Volley is a monster duelist that thrives at taking over games early and not letting go. He's almost impossible to fight head on, and is also pretty easy to pilot for new players. If you're looking for an all-around strong jungler that can deal massive damage while also being a tank for your team, Volibear is definitely the pick for you. That will do it for my Season 12 in-depth guide on Volibear Jungle. If you want to support my content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with my weekly videos. If you're looking to add more jungle champs to your pool, make sure to check out the rest of my in-depth series to find more guides just like this one. And finally, if you want to have a chance of winning a free coaching session, make sure to join the Discord link in the description so you can participate in our monthly giveaways. With all that being said, thanks again for watching. Until the next video, peace out.